Oh, I forgot to. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our chair yoga. I missed a cue here. There we go. I'm gonna meet you right away from my chair. So I join you right away as we get started. Come forward on your chair as we typically do, so that you're not leaning into the backrest, and then place your block in such a way that it just gives you some alignment support. That it just gives you your best guess. And if you don't find that useful, then just tuck your block away, because we will be using it later on in the practice. But for now, let's just use it for a way to line ourselves up and give us a point of reference as we sit up nice and tall and feel more engaged. So I'm joining you quickly in the chair this morning because I want to get at it. It was one of those days for me. I just really know that I need to get out of my head and into my body, and that is what yoga is all about. So it's going to just help me to change that, you know, train of thought that gets repetitive and not useful, and change gears a little bit. So I do appreciate the practice for that. And I can only teach what I have to where I'm at. That's what I've learned over this. I was just thinking before we started about how long I've been teaching, and it's 16 years. I've been teaching 16 years. So I've taught a lot of classes, and so I've learned about what I can offer. Whenever I try to mimic somebody else's practice or a school of thought in terms of teaching, I struggle because it's not deeply rooted. So my best mechanism for teaching is to share with you what I need from yoga, and hopefully that matches up from time to time. So let us begin. More aware of our body, more aware of our sense of self within the body. So I'm going to invite you to move down your awareness of yourself from your head space into your heart space. So you just close your eyes, use your imagination now, because I know that I'm not alone in the fact that I spend most of my time living my life through the lens and the experience of my thoughts. So let's come on down into the heart, to the feeling center. Just to give you some, background, the body is an energy body, and in the yoga tradition, it teaches us that the head is the energy center for awareness. The heart is the energy center for emotion, and the gut in the pelvic area, it would have been good if I'd have remembered this before I offered it, is the energy center for sensation, for the actual physicality of your body, the experience of the physical nature. So we're going to come into that heart space to just relocate ourselves. And it's deep within. It's not on the surface. You're not locating yourself on your chest, right on the, on the surface, but deep within the chest cavity. So let's turn our palms up on our lap, close the eyes down, because that's like closing the door and allowing you to come into a deeper experience, deep within. You're not going to be distracted by what's going on in the room, even just the light and the furniture and the space that you normally occupy. That's distracting. That can be distracting. So close your eyes so that you can come instead into the awareness of the inside. And let's assign words right away. Let's start using a mantra. So breathe in, use that word in, and breathe out, use the word out. In and out. In and out at your own rhythm. Start to feel more prominently your legs, your feet to the ground, and the awareness of the strength of your legs. Breathing in and out. Feel the length of your spine. Lift yourself up. Breathing in and out. Just staying true to that commitment to stay with the breath. And you'll wander away. That's just a given. Then come on back. Come on back to in and out. Feel your shoulders pull back and down. So I'm into the shoulder blades area here, pulling back and down. And see if you can feel the alignment of the top of the head with the tailbone. Breathing in and out. Soften the tongue, relax your muscles of your face. And let's stay with the breath for 4 more cycles, just in and out. Feeling the body and feeling ourselves relocate into the chest cavity. It's a different realization of your experience. Now, with palms open, let's take a moment now to set our particular intention for this class experience. What do you need? What do you want? Desire? How would you like to feel? Use that as your guide. What do I want? What do I need? How do I want to feel? Stay with it. Like you deserve this attention. You deserve to just pay attention to what do I intend for my class today. Just notice the breath moving in your body. Now you can feel the movement of your body, can't you? And that's a great focal point as well. And so it is. Let's just say that, you gave it some consideration about that intention, and so it is. We're going to open the eyes again, get used to the space with the light. And let's begin by syncing up the breath. Inhale, palms are going to come together up and overhead. Feel the length of your spine. Palms gently touch. I want you to engage your feet so your whole body is helping you lift your arms up. Push down into the feet. Draw your thighs toward each other magnetically. They're not going to touch. You're not even trying to make them touch. You're trying to make them feel the engagement of your legs. So you're just feeling the magnetic pull of your inner thighs toward each other. Now feel through the length of your spine by way of the sides of your body, as well as, the spinal length behind, in the back body. So feel the whole lifting of the rib cage. Let's take our inhale here. Exhale, we're going to bow into the heart. Acknowledge that. Inhale, back up. Exhale, go wide with your arms like a T. Rotate your arms so the thumbs point back and your hands are open wide. You've spread your fingers apart and you can feel all sorts of engagement through the hands, the wrist, and the length of the arm. Pull the belly in. Notice what your shoulder blades are doing and work toward getting them back and down. Let's deepen the breath. It might be noisier. You might be using your mouth for breathing now. Just notice. We take it all. We'll take it. Feel your feet. Exhale. And then let's create that cactus-like shape. Hands are wide open. We're going to pull back with the elbows. Shoulder blades really drawing toward the center. That's our inhale. Exhale. Close it up. So use that as your vinyasa. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Open, close. And remember to keep your elbows elevated. We want our elbows up there as much as we can. We're going to find what's our full range of movement here. How much can I keep those elbows up? And it's just a noticing. It's information for you. If you're having some difficulty with that, it's like, okay, I guess I have to modify that. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Palms are going to come together. Forearms are together. Lift up. Lift up till you find a stop sign. There's no more lifting up to do. Hold that and notice in your body where you're experiencing that. In and out with the breath. Bringing yourself back to this very present moment in your body as you breathe in and out, squeezing palms together, forearms together, and noticing in your body how it's felt. When we release that, we're going to drop our fingertips down, getting our elbows up, and seeing if we can get sort of a right angle with the bend of the elbow. And then situate your head on your shoulders properly, keeping those elbows up. Let's spread the hands apart, fingers apart. Keep them up there. Lengthen the spine, press into your feet. And we're back to that cactus position, open and close. Open and close. Open and close. This time we're going to come all the way up, palms together. Arms are now alongside the ears. Inhale with me. Exhale, bow into your own heart. Inhale up and exhale, take a big sweeping action to bring your hands and arms right alongside the frame of the chair. Let's move through our cow and cat. Just going to work on the basics here. Let's start moving through the cow and cat, which is the movement through the spine. The extension of the spine is the cow. Exhale through the roundness of the back. That's that angry cat. So finding your rhythm of movement, the vinyasa. And then notice how you have to change the tone of your belly. I've decided not to use the arms extended. And if you like doing that, and you're all on board with that, how I've typically taught it is the arms out. I run into some problems with that when I've noticed the people I'm teaching in person, live in person, they're pulling their shoulders way out of alignment. So I've adjusted my method for that reason. But you can modify and use the technique that you find useful. We're going to meet in the cow pose. So we're going to really arch the back body, get your arms as far back as you can. Start stretching them back. So again, we're looking for a stop sign. There's no more movement. I can't lift up, pull back. There's nothing else I can do. I'm back there and that's it. I'm at a stop sign. Press your feet to the floor. Feel it in your body. Where is this most felt? Deepen the breath. That'll give you more awareness of your felt experience. Particularly get really good at that exhale. A nice long exhalation is going to bring you deeply into the sensation of the body. Puff up the chest. Feel like you're opening up lung capacity, because you are. Exhale completely. Hands are going to come to the legs, and we're going to just slide ourselves down. Get your hands to just glide down your legs and look down and underneath yourself. If you have to move your legs open, you know what to do. You're going to open up your knees to match up with your ankles and feet so that you keep your alignment principle in effect. But laying yourself into the belly, I want you to get into that deep belly type breathing so you can feel the movement of your breath in the belly as it relates to your thighs. Surrender the weight of your head. Try to drop your crown of your head down. Tuck your chin in. Deepen that breath. Lengthen the exhale. Two more. Jump your hands to your thighs. I'm aligning my feet back to my block. So if you're using a block, you might do the same. Aligning my feet back to the block. Squeeze your elbows into the sideways. Create that diagonal line of the back body. So you're not all the way up. You're in that midway, a diagonal line. Here's where we're going to work on the perineum. So I want you to press your hands into your thighs and act as though, imagine that you're hovering your bottom up off that chair. So that's engaging the pelvic floor. And exhale, release. So with each inhalation, it's a long inhalation, you're lifting and hovering the perineum up off the chair. Exhale is a release. It's kind of resetting to go back for more. And for those of you who want to participate, I'm going to offer this breath practice. That's that O shape. The inhale comes through the shape of an O in your mouth. And it's like a vacuum hose. So I want you to add that if you'd like to inhale through that O shape and lift through the perineum. And soften and relax as you exhale. Let's do 2 more of those. O shape. Notice in the body, this is going to be a lot of, it's the Mula Bandha, for those of you who are familiar with some of the yoga terms, and the Uddiyana Bandha. Beautiful. Let's come all the way up to our neutral position. Let's do some shrugs and release. Line that with your breath. Inhale, shrug, exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze and shrug, exhale, release. Couple more. Connect it with your breath. And now I want you to do it very quickly, where you're just shrugging and releasing very quickly, and your breath will take care of itself. Your breath will take care of itself. Your shrug, release, shrug, release. You're going to build some heat all through that trapezius muscle. Couple more. And relax. Let's do some shoulder rolls. And arms are alongside the frame of the chair. Let's work on stimulating the thyroid. So what I'm going to have you do is drop your chin in towards your throat. And as you do so, you're going to move your lower jaw side to side. So you'll have to open your mouth and just move your jaw side to side. It's like you're trying to give yourself a little massage in your throat base. So any movement, the jaw can move side to side. And you just tuck your chin in and go for it. Even if it doesn't feel like you can, you barely move your jaw. You're not sure if this is doing it. Just try. Just do what you can with the intention of stimulating the thyroid. With tender, loving care of this gland. Beautiful. Let's come back up, nice and easy. Inhale with me. Exhale, bow into your heart. Up. And all the way around. Let's move the block out of the way. Let's get busy with our legs now. Hold on to your chair. I want you to lean back, move your legs all around. Just kind of use this as non-linear movement. You could even close your eyes so that you're not even trying to follow me. You're just saying, okay, I'm just going to move my body the way my body is asking me to do it. So just try some non-linear movement, which includes sort of rocking back, lifting your feet up and opening up the legs, and just letting your body inform you about the kind of movement that it seems to want. It seems to need. We call that nonlinear, and it's a way to get back in touch with just the free-flowing, fluid nature of the body, and that we just let go of all of our rules and just say, let's just move. Let's just move to the way the body just seems to want to do. This is always what I'm trying to work with on resetting the body, that you just listen to what you need rather than, my cue, because that's all I'm doing is listening to my body, and I offer that up as a suggestion. Beautiful. Let's come back now to our mountain position. So we've got ourselves situated on the chair like we do. Feel that right to left connection, the sit bones, front to back. So you feel like you're in that sweet spot of alignment. Palms face forward, arms are right alongside the frame of the chair. Feel the feet to the earth. Let's do a circle of breath. Bring that inhale up through the front of your body, all the way to the crown of the head and back through the back side of the body. Don't close your eyes this time. Instead, lower your eyelids and look down toward the floor and find that circle of breath. So you're staying very alert as you use your imagination to create a circle of breath up through the front of the body for the inhale and down the back of the body, all the way back to the soles of the feet for the exhalation. Be patient with your breath. Give it the whole length. It's got to go all the way up to the crown of the head for the inhale. And it's got to go all the way back down to the soles of the feet for the exhale. Be patient. It's like you're coloring this, like, that you could imagine that you're coloring this circle all the way around. You don't want to miss anything. You want it to be fully colored, full and beautiful. One more circle of breath. And hands come back to the lap. Shrug, release, shrug, release, shrug, release, move, shrug and release, shrug and release. Let's try a wide angle now. Open up those feet wide, heels in, toes out, hands are on the thighs. We're circling. I want you to do a very big circle, very, very big. Go deep down in the front, side, back, big circle. Notice the shift of your body weight throughout the hips, buttocks, thighs, and find the rhythm of your breath. Notice it now. Notice where your inhale is and notice that exhalation. See if you can even, because we're so darn good at this pranayama, even it out. Inhale and exhale are the same length. So you might have to count. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, that kind of thing. Doesn't matter which number, just whatever suits your particular rhythm of breathing, but that helps you even it out. Same circle, haven't changed direction yet, but it's big, it's wide, and you're deepening it. You're not stuck in the same groove. You're looking for more. We are looking for more. The next time you're in the forward movement, when you are halfway up, right through the center, let's do that O-shaped breath one more time. Push your thighs down with your hands. Elbows are squeezing into your waist. Back body's in that diagonal line, so don't let your head get too far in front of your body. You should be in line with the spine. Inhale, O-shape. Press your feet, press your arms. Exhale, release. O-shape inhale, that's where you hover the bottom up off the chair, but you're pressing with your arms and your legs, and then you release it all soften. Last time, O-shape inhale, like a vacuum hose. Exhale, release. We're going to glide our hands down the legs in this wide angle. See if you can hold on to your ankles or your feet in some way as you fold. And then notice where your armpits are in relation to your knees. Could you somehow match them up? Big breath, big belly breath. Surrender the weight of your head. Move your head as if to say yes. Move your head as if to say no. Shake no, nod yes. One more full breath cycle. Exhale it all the way out. Jump your hands to your thighs. You're not on your knees, you're on your thighs, and you're going to bring yourself all the way up. Just ratchet it up, keeping the head, neck, and spine in line with each other as you ratchet it all the way up. Inhale up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, back up. Exhale, go all the way around like a backstroke. Bring our legs back in, and we're going to go into our figure 4. So start with your standing leg. Make sure it is properly placed. So it's a right angle. Your ankle is below your knee. It's straight. And I notice, if you can, that you're trying to turn your foot so you can see the sole of your foot. Just a little different way of placing it. You're going to lay it on there, so you're trying to almost turn your foot so the sole of the foot is facing up, and place it where it's comfortable. Oftentimes I encourage you to bring your heel in close to the crease, which is fine if that feels good. But I want you to really go by comfort. What just seems the natural way for this to be, with my sole of my foot lifted up. And let's do our massaging. And you can always adjust it. So what if you hold it for a little while and you think, it's not great, or I want more. I want it to feel a little more because I know what this does for me. So, you can always adjust it. You're just paying attention to the sensation. We're going to use this very posture, this figure 4 position, to do a twist. So bring your opposite hand. So if you've got your right knee up, then that means that left hand's got to cross over and it's going to kind of press down. And then we're turning toward that top leg. We're turning toward the top leg for our twist. So just push down into that thigh. The back hand, there's lots of places for me to grab. I'm going to find a spot back there to hold onto the chair. You could just wrap it around so you're somehow holding it, using your body parts to give you some leverage. And always, we're trying to find the verticality of our spine in our twist. So don't let yourself lean back or sideways. Bring yourself as best you can, the way it feels, it's vertical. And you can get leverage by getting that hand as far back as you can and pressing the top hand into that thigh. Any amount, just any amount of compression that feels good to you, feels right, it feels strong, then you're right on. Let's find that in and out, present moment breath in and out. We're all about that. Breathe all the way in and breathe all the way out. We're going to unwind the head, then the shoulders. We're going to come back to a cradle the baby, just grab hold and rock. So some of you can, really get deep into that and hold on to your leg in a way that's very much, deepening the pose. But, otherwise, you're just holding the leg the way you can. But it's this cradling, this rocking, that's very beneficial. All of it is. All of it is. Find your breath. You get that foot down to the floor and we'll just reset the body. So whatever your body needs now, that's what you're going to attend to. And then we'll do that figure 4 on the other side. So again, we're trying to turn the foot so that the sole of the foot is facing up as best we can. It's not perfect and it's comfortable. So wherever you find it, and then standing leg, don't forget that. We want the knee right over the ankle. Sit up tall. One side or the other feels differently. This is tighter for me, always is. So I got to do a lot of situating so I can get balanced in my sit bones, get balanced in the pelvis. Start with the massaging and catching up with your breath. So you're back to really take this time now, almost effortless time to, realign yourself with your breathing. Feeling the fullness of that inhale and the full release of the exhale. Align yourself with your breath as you just gently encourage this leg to drop into an external rotation. We're going to use this as a twist. So we're going to take that top hand and press it into the thigh so it crosses over. Back hand back. Elongate your spine. Find the verticality of your spine. There's pretty decent pressure on that thigh, on that inner thigh, holding that leg down. And now that's your mechanism for a twist. It's a full body twist. Remember, it always starts low. It works its way up. It doesn't change just because we set up, various ways to structure it. Fundamentals of a twist are still the same. We want the spine vertical. We want to start low, work our way up, move into the shoulders gradually, feeling our way as we open into more range of movement, perhaps. Deepen the breath. Full breath in and out. Excellent. We're going to unwind the head first and then the shoulders. When we come out of it, we're going to cradle that baby. Might have to hold this leg different than you did the first one. That's okay. And play with it. See what you can create. Side to side rocking motion. Just a calming for the body, this rocking. It still is. It was when we were a baby. It still is. Beautiful. Let's get both feet to the floor and find a mountain position. So you're just making sure your legs are in that right angle. You're rolling those shoulders back. Arms are alongside the chair's frame. Palms face forward. We're in our basic mountain position. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're going to do some, crisscross of the energy and the extension of our limbs. So just try a long extension of the leg and extension of the arm. So just match up. Take your time with it, kicking the leg out in front of you and the arm that raises up right alongside your head. There'll be some movement. You're going to rock a little bit through the spine. Of course you will. That's okay. We're kicking out Maybe you find a drishti. You find some place in your house you can just look at it and focus on keeping yourself within the frame of your chair. You're not going to go wide and get sloppy. You're going to kind of use this midline energy as a source of strength and stability. So you're kind of drawing yourself in toward the middle a bit as you extend opposite limbs. Same idea, hands are going to come to the shoulders. Same idea, just a little different movement, and that's going to be lifting the opposite knee up and bringing that elbow down. Still crisscrossing energetically across the body. This time we're bringing in a little more core strength. Settle into the awareness of your breath, full inhale, full exhale. You know what's going to happen? I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. Is that because we've made our focus being breath awareness, just consistently back to the breath, it's like a whole hour's worth of meditation. You'll have that sort of impact on your sense of well-being. Last time, let's hold it. Breathe in, breathe out. Hold it on the other side. High, lift that knee high, let the foot up, flexed foot. Breathe in, breathe out. Both feet to the floor. Let's shake that out. I want you to see if you can bring yourself up and out of the chair with your arms swinging. Swing yourself up and out of the chair. Pay attention now. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last time. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, heart. Inhale up. Exhale all the way around. We're in a mountain now, standing up. Straighten out your feet. Soften the bend of the knee. Just give a little micro bend. Pull the belly in. Pull the shoulder blades back and down. You want to feel vertical with your head so the jaw line is like parallel to the floor. Find a drishti. Focus your eyes or close your eyes, your choice. And steady that breath back to the in and the out. And you say those words, you stay true to our practice today. Breathing in, breathing out. It's an anchor. We use that mantra as an anchor. Let your breath be as noisy as it needs to be. Catch up with the breath. Might feel ragged at first. Let it find its way to rhythm. Good, let's get the eyes open. Palms come together overhead, look up. Exhale, heart. I'm going to move a little bit. Inhale up. Exhale, chair pose. It's like you're hovering yourself above the chair. I've got my arms extended. This is kind of like the maximum challenge. Or you could bring your hands into a prayer position, or your hands could be on your thighs. That's how we can do a chair pose. Inhale back up. Exhale, heart. Inhale up. Exhale, go all the way around and interlace your fingers. So you're just weaving your fingers together to interlace. Palms face each other. Palms should be facing each other. Now I want you to move side to side with that. Soften the bend of the knee. And let your hands move around back there through the shoulder blades. Let's find our breath. Locate the in and the out of the breath. Beautiful. This time, let's come back to that cactus position. Close it up. Open. Close. Open. Close all the way down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale through the shoulder socket. Spine is solid and not, there's not much movement there. You're going to feel it in stretches for sure, but there's no intentional movement through the spine. It's just the shoulder socket and all the way down. Great. Let's position our chair in such a way. I didn't use, see how I do? I was going to use the block for something else. I didn't get to it. Let's position it in a way to use it for downward dog. So you're going to face your chair, the chair seat, hands are there, and you start walking back. I want you to place your hands the same distance apart as what your feet is. So whatever governs that. Maybe you say, well, my feet are kind of driving this bus, so I'll line my hands up accordingly. Might be the different, the other way around for you. But align it so that it feels like the same distance between your hands is what you have between your feet. Now, I want you to really work on straightening your legs. I know I usually say, just let your knees bend, it's okay. Yeah, but just work on getting, a little more strength and a little more intention about, I'm just going to try to straighten them. I'm going to feel the stretch of that. I want you to feel your body weight into the whole surface of your feet, not just your heels. Arms should be gliding right past your ears. Let's deepen the breath. We're trying to straighten our legs any amount straighter. That's going to be a nice stretch. Let's come walking up toward the chair and come all the way up. Take a pause. Catch up with your breath. Let your body adjust from that inversion. We're going to go right back at it. We're going to do some leg lifts, and they're just going to be high in the sky. You're in your downward dog. A little bit concerned. That was not quite there. Okay, we're in our downward dog, and we're going to get our right foot up in the air, bend the knee, and lift the foot up. It's like the sole of the foot is trying to reach toward the ceiling. Doesn't matter. We don't care about a straight leg here. We're just trying to get it up high like we're doing the splits. Excellent. Let's do it on the other side too. You might have to reset the body, and then you're going to slowly lift up and reach the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And you're just trying to lift it. Just keep lifting until that's my split. Deepen the breath. Hold on to the chair. Both feet come down. Here we go. We got both feet on the ground. We're coming back to the chair. All the way up to our mountain. Just take a pause now. Catch up with your breathing. When you're ready, turn your chair so that you've got the back side of the chair available to you. And what we're going to use that for is Trikonasana. That's the triangle pose. Again, a regular pose from the yoga bag of tricks. The position of the feet is a wide angle. The foot that's closest to the chair turns toward that. So that foot is pointing toward the chair, like my hand is. And the other foot is just at its wide angle. Here's what you do. This is how I learned it when I started doing yoga in 2006. So what would that be? I don't know. That's when I started. So we're going to lift up and exhale down to lay that arm right on that top of the chair. Notice how your ear is laying right on top of your arm. So that other arm really doesn't have anything to do right now. Maybe you wrap it around you so it starts to pull that shoulder back. But what we're working here is for this length of the side body and the alignment of our spine. We've got our head in line with the spine. And of course, there's that straight leg. Now, if you're finding that to be very challenging because boy, that's tight in it, soften it up. Soften it up. Bend it, straighten it, move it a little bit. Soften that up. Beautiful. Let's see about this. See about lifting all the way up. Use that top arm to lift you up. Come back to your neutral position. And let's try the same thing on the other side. You start with your wide angle. Turn that foot that's near the chair toward the chair. Straight legs. That arm that's close to the chair is going to come right up alongside your head, and you're going to bow to lay it down onto that top of the chair. Ear is just resting on your arm. Pull the shoulder back. Maybe you just wrap your arm behind your back. And again, if that inner thigh is like too darn tight, you might try a shorter stance. That could be the remedy. Or you just kind of soften it by bending the knee. And then let's just see about lifting that top arm up. And on this side, I'm just going to give you another option. Let palms face each other. Lift up, bring yourself out of that. And let's bring our legs together and shake that out, shake it out. I know I'm going all over. We're going to turn our chair so that the seat of the chair is facing us. And we're going to do a balancing pose. Watch me all the way through. I don't even remember if it's been a long time since I've used this pose. So you might just want to watch it all the way through and then join me. So I'm going to bring my feet to face the chair. They're pointing in the direction of the chair. I'm going to balance on my right foot. So that foot is going to continue to face the chair, but I'm getting my back leg up in the air. I'm holding onto the chair to rotate so that that leg that's extended is now pointing out toward the middle of the room. You could just hold it right here, hand on the chair, bringing yourself into this is called a balancing half moon. There's variations, arms stacked, lifting up. So I want you to give that a try. And remember, the leg can extend at hip height like I was trying to do, or it might just be kind of floating up off the floor. And that's where you take it. Idea is to stack your shoulders and that your ear is facing the seat of the chair. And you've got the chair to use in any way that stabilizes. Bend your knee to come out of it. Shake it off. I'm going to move the chair up, but you don't have to because you don't care where you're facing. Set it up again. Toes are pointing toward the chair. And then you're going to get the leg airborne in some way and rotate your hips so your toes now, not extended leg, the toe is pointing toward the middle of the room. And I love to use this chair, the top of the chair, to help me line up. Remember, you can barely float the foot off the floor. That's still a balancing pose. Or you can just work to lift. Arm reaches up. I'm losing my balance. Got to try it again. Find a drishti. Practice what I preach. Come out of it. Get hands to the chair, feet to the floor, and bring yourself up nice and easy. Let's meet in a wide angle. Catch up with your breath. I want you to just flip-flop your arms around side to side. Let your breath find its rhythm. You're back to in and out, breathing in, breathing out. Let's slow it down. A couple of toe balances so we can work on our feet. I'm facing it with the low side of the chair. If you'd rather be on the other side of the chair, that's okay. We're bending the knees and getting our heels up, and so you're balancing on the balls of your feet and your toes. You can just drop the heels down and kind of work on that. Knees bend, of course. Remember that chair pose that we did? That's one that is also done with a toe balance. You can bring yourself into that hovered chair-like squat and have your heels up off the floor. That's a more advanced way to do that toe balance. Both hands back to the chair. Get yourself up. Catch up with your breath. We're going to come back to the chair and have a seat. Not quite ready for our shavasana, but come back to the chair nonetheless. So you're forward of the chair. You're not using the backrest. We line ourselves up like we would in a mountain pose. Our feet are straight. Pull the belly and shoulders back and down. Catch up with your breath. Now, let's do that alternate nostril breath. Nadi Shodhana, but we're going to do it without the use of plugging our nose. We're going to do it with intention and imagination. And I want you this time to not only be aware that the inhale is coming through your nostril on the left side, let's say, but it's coming through the whole left side of your body. The whole left side of your body is breathing in, and the whole right side of your body is breathing out, that sort of thing. So close your eyes or open them and just intend now to start with breathing in through the left side of your body and nostril, and breathing out through the right side of your body and nostril. That's the way you want to. If you are confused by this and it doesn't resonate, go back to the plugging of the nostril and just calm us. And we're going to bring ourselves into a beautiful time of relaxation with this alternate nostril breathing. But I encourage you to just up your ante a little bit and breathe and be aware that this is the whole left side of your body breathing in, and it's the whole right side of your body breathing out. I'll give you the cue when it's time to switch to the other side. So we're going to switch. So just stay with that. Inhale through the left side of the nostril and in the whole left side of the body, and exhale right. Eyes open or closed. Just imagining this very full awareness of your breath in a very particular way. It's just a marvelous way to be in touch with the energy body and the variation of left and right energies. They're different. Stay with it. Inhale left, exhale right. Now stay on the right. Inhale right and switch to exhale left. Inhale right nostril, right side of the body. Exhale left nostril, left side of the body. Back to your rhythm of breathing. Inhale right, exhale left. Sit up tall, your spine is long. You're in a mountain position. I got my hands on my lap. It seems a little bit more comfortable. Inhale right and exhale left. Just be aware of the breath in and the breath out. Use your imagination. It's a perfectly valid way to exchange energy, perfectly useful and potent, powerful. Inhale right, exhale left, and let's return to our normal breathing. Inhale, palms come together overhead. Exhale, bow into yourself. Stay there with that bow position, letting your chin drop towards your chest and heart. Palms together in a prayer position now, and just take stock. Take stock of how you're feeling inside and out. And let's begin to move toward our final relaxation, the Shavasana experience. Of course, you're going to scoot yourself back into the chair. Get your props, get the support that you like to use so that you're very, true to maybe the ritual that you've established to come into your relaxation or meditation time. Definitely want to close the eyes so you can, kind of close the door into the privacy of your interior view. And back to the breath in and out, and start to notice through your own participation that you're peeling layer upon layer of stress, of tension away from the body now, and giving it up to the chair or to the surface below you. just giving it up. Let's change our word. We've done that. So true to the practice, breathing in and out. Let's change the word, breathing in deep, breathing out slow. Breathe in deep, breathe out slow. Through your nose, through your mouth, combination, whatever feels relaxing and natural to your body. Breathe in deep, breathe out slow. Oh, don't let me forget. Let's go to that part of our body which we know we hold stress. There's a part of our body where we just seem to hold stress. Maybe you touch it. Maybe you can bring your hands to your shoulders or wherever that is. That would be beautiful. That'd be a great way to start. Or you simply bring your awareness to that, kind and loving. I see you, I get it, and I release and relax on your behalf. I chose a different poem today. I don't know if I've read it ever, but at least it's been quite a long time. So stay with your practice of breathing deep and slow and letting the chair hold you. And here's some words to maybe inspire you as they did me. Life here at the edge, Danapult. When love lights a fire in the heart, don't be so quick to quell the flames. To be fully alive is to welcome the beloved in countless names and guises, not turn away the wild with the tame. Drink your fill of longing. Let love wash through in waves that lift you up and carry both your daring and your fear straight to unknown places. Yes, there is danger in not staying safely cloaked in morality and labels, but there is life here at the edge and a choice to be made between thoughtful abandon and passionate restraint. The plaintive cry of the heart can be ignored only at the price of a fully realized life. Throw arms wide to possibilities that move and call you to come forth in freedom and in fullness. Trust the seed of grace within to blossom without sin or sorrow, for you are surely big enough to hold the truth as it unfolds. I invite you to change your mantra, your word, to calm and ease. Inhale, calm. Exhale, ease. Feel that calm in your body and feel the ease surround you. Soften your tongue, relax your facial muscles, soft belly. Breathe in calm, breathe out ease. Feel the calm, feel the ease. Relax your shoulders. Feel that as though I'm right behind you, hands on your shoulders, a little gentle compression there. Feel the connectivity and the support. Now, take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it out of your mouth like a sound of ah. Ah. It's a great letting go, isn't it? One more time. Ah. Now come away from your chair so that you can feel the alignment of your spine again. So however you're situated, bring yourself into a position where you're back to lifting up and lengthening the spine. Inhale, palms together, up and overhead. Exhale, let's pause as we bow into our own heart. Again, taking stock how this experience is felt and that we've located ourselves in the heart, moved from the mind, not moved from the head space, that energy center, down into the heart space. For one last breath. Inhale back up. Exhale, let's share this beautiful energy, this peaceful energy with our communities. We bring our hands back to the Anjali Mudra. Bow to yourself and we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Julie. Julie, what
Yeah.
was the poem that you read?
One second, let me close out the recording.